We often talk about the importance of chiropractic for children, the miracles seen through chiropractic care, and the importance of spreading the word because you'll never know how it can change someone's life. Well, here's a story that touches on all three. I know you'll find it inspiring, so let's join Dr. Brian Kelly to learn more. Dr. Kelly?
Imagine for a moment your newborn baby comes into the world, and as a result of a very difficult and traumatic birth process, your baby's injured and ends up with a very, very critical situation. This would be devastating to any parent. A number of years ago, when I practiced as a chiropractor, I received a phone call on a Monday evening from a mother who had a similar situation to this. She described the situation where her daughter was born in a hospital, and the problems got significant during the labour and delivery, and as a result of that there was serious trauma to the baby's upper part of neck and to her brain. As the days unfolded following the birth, the parents received a diagnosis from the medical team that their daughter had what was known as bulbar palsy. This is a type of cerebral palsy where the brain is injured, in this case at birth, due to a lack of oxygen, and that part of the brain simply doesn't work. So I received this call from the mother and I said, please tell me more. She said that their baby had been born some 8 weeks before and they'd done every known medical test that was available, and they were given one of two options or possible future scenarios. The first was that it was unlikely their baby would survive very long. The second was that if it did, it would be a spastic quadriplegic. So the parents had walked the halls and hallways of the hospital for a number of weeks, waiting for the best news, and this was the best news that they could be given. They'd called me because a friend of theirs had known about chiropractic care and its impact on the nervous system and on the brain. So I said to the mum, we're going to need some more information. The next day, she sent me through the fax machine pages and pages of information about the diagnosis, about the MRI scans of the brain, about different imaging that they'd done on the brain, including some brain scans, and they wanted to understand exactly what was going on. As we mentioned, the news wasn't good. So I said to the mum, let's come into the hospital and I'm happy to check your baby. As I arrived in the hospital, and it was a very, very tense situation, there was a sense of helplessness, and I knew we were dealing with a very serious situation. So I examined and checked the newborn baby's spine. We did some reflex testing, checked its cranial bones, and determined that it had a subluxation, a misalignment in the upper part of the neck causing pressure on the nervous system. Many people ask, how do you take care of a newborn baby? My husband and my wife, we go to the chiropractor, we're big adults, but how do you take care of a little baby? And the answer is very gently. Because a baby's spine is half bone or vertebra and half cartilage. So it doesn't take much to misalign the spine, and it doesn't take much to correct it. We did an adjustment on the baby's neck, on the upper part of the neck, and I said to the father, I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. He turned around and he said, is that it? And I said, I can promise you two things. One, this won't hurt your baby, and secondly, I know it will help. What I didn't know is how it would help, how long it would take, or what the outcome would be. But the principle or the concept is that if you have pressure on the nervous system, in this case at the base of the brain, there was no way the brain could function anywhere near its potential. I went on the second day and checked the baby again. The baby was lying there as it was the first day, as it had for the other 8 weeks, lying there, eyes asleep, on a feeding tube, on oxygen, and its muscles were all spastic, a sort of paralysis if you like. She didn't look any different than the day before. Again, a feeding tube, on oxygen, and the situation looked somewhat bleak. We checked the baby's spine, looked at its nervous system, and gave her another adjustment. We did this day after day after day, which was the first time I'd ever checked a newborn or an infant at that frequency. We went to the hospital every day for 56 days. And after 28 days, the mother sent me a text, and she said, you'll never guess what? And I replied, what? She said, our little daughter, they've done a new EEG scan of the brain, and the cortical activity is within normal limits. Over the weeks and months that followed, the baby improved, eventually made it home, and things got a lot better. To this day, some 6 years later, she still has a brain injury, a significant brain injury. But she's walking, she's able to eat on her own, she's able to talk, and I learned that just last February, she started at a special school, or a school for special kids. So you never know how chiropractic may be able to help someone that seems to be a situation unrelated to the spine and can be very serious. So my request to you today is this. If you know someone who has a health challenge, maybe reach out to them and say, you know what? There's a power inside the body that has an incredible capacity to heal and adapt. The nervous system controls and coordinates that. And you know what? Maybe chiropractic, just maybe chiropractic may be able to help. Let's not keep it a secret, and let's tell other people.